Hey there, gang. Patrick King here, coming to you live from home near Stanton, Virginia. Those of you who have been following these videos know what a rare opportunity this is for me to actually be home. I'm typically on the road teaching at a clinic that didn't pan out this week, so it gives me the rare opportunity to be home for 2 days. Anyway, enough about that. Today's question comes to us from Debbie, and Debbie says, I have a 15-year-old gelding that is a retired chuck wagon horse. I can't lunge him. Every time I try, he pulls his head up and then bolts, dragging me behind him. How can I resolve this? I don't have a round pen, so I have to use my pasture. Otherwise, he's gone. His other favorite is running back to the stable. So, Debbie, this sounds like I would say, a fairly common issue, but the issue you're having is kind of the most advanced stage of that issue. So what I want to think about is what's actually taking place when your horse is picking up that head and dragging you off, dragging off of the circle that you're lunging him on. If we think about that, when the horse lifts the head, in the moment before they drag the handler off, they're tilting their nose slightly to the outside before they take off, okay? Now, on a properly bent circle, okay, a horse that's straight on the circle, as we talk in geometric sense, in other words, meaning the spine is angled with the circle that we're lunging the horse on, or working the horse on, if we're doing half circles or whatever our in-hand work or our groundwork happens to be. In that situation, the horse's nose is to the inside of the circle, and the inside hind leg is slightly stepping more underneath the horse's body. Now, that's generally a driving and can be a yielding hind leg in that moment. In the moment, however, if we have a horse that's wanting to bolt or pull out of the circle, what happens every time, through my experience, is that the horse is exactly what Debbie's talking about, lifting the head and tilting the nose then outside of the circle. And that hind leg that's generally yielding under or stepping underneath the body to drive the horse forward on our proper circle is now driving and pushing and bracing away from us, basically positioned on a circle in the other direction. So when I say that Debbie's challenge is one that is kind of at an advanced stage of something I see very commonly, think about maybe some of your friends when they lunge their horse, because I know you don't have this problem, right? Nobody out there has this challenge, but their friends do. That when they lunge or work their horse on the ground on a circle around them, it's fairly common for a horse to be tipping the nose to the outside of the circle. In other words, the horse is thinking about, instead of yielding the body to the inside, they're thinking about bracing and driving away, all right? So really pay mind to this whenever we're working with our horses. So the gist of it, for a horse that wants to bolt and drag us off, and also for one that wants to rush home, to me it's very much a similar problem. Or we could say it's the same problem, just expressing itself in different ways. What we need is more control over the horse's hindquarters, okay? From a very basic sense. We need more control over the hind legs, being able to cause that horse to step a hind leg deeper underneath the body when we ask it to. This can be as subtle as an engagement of the hindquarters, or as drastic as a disengagement of the hindquarters. And in the situation of the horse that's wanting to bolt and push out on the circle, that's one of the rare occasions when I would recommend a disengagement of the hindquarters, taking the power away, regaining the control, and helping to gain the focus of the horse. Now, this sounds fairly simple, but from the perspective of the handler in this case, it can be fairly challenging. Typically, I'll start at the face of the horse, and with either a dressage whip or a bamboo stick or the end of a lead rope, I'll ask the horse to yield the hindquarters away from me. And to me then, after the horse has learned to do that, then the horse earns the right to go out on a larger and larger circle, so long as they can prove to me that they can yield and engage, or if necessary, to save the horse running off, as Debbie's talking about with the horse. If she's not in the pasture, he's gone, right? That's just dangerous, okay? If necessary, then we could disengage in that moment, really stepping the hind leg deep under, regaining the basic control of the horse. So again, Debbie, this is not an uncommon problem. It's something that I see in varying degrees almost on a daily basis, to be honest with you. So it's challenging for me to be able to show you this without a horse, or talk about this without a horse. And there are lots of great training programs out there, foundation programs especially. And I'm going to say one of the ones that I would definitely recommend for you to look up, and this is not that I'm trying to promote one person over another or anything like that, but I know that my good friend Warwick Schiller has a great video program that will likely cover a situation just like this. So once I'm done with this video here, I'm going to tag Warwick and his horsemanship page. It's Warwick Schiller Performance Horsemanship. I'm going to tag that in the comment section below of this video so that anybody out there who's interested in joining in on that, I believe it's a monthly subscription type of a deal, and he's got great discussion groups and things like that here on Facebook. Everybody will be able to access that. I believe he's also got an app you can download for your phone that sounds great. It's got hundreds upon hundreds of videos out there on Facebook and YouTube for you for resources. So again, I don't want to sound like I'm pushing him over anyone else. I just know for sure he's got a lot of great content out there, and he's got some videos that he can show you specifically what I'm talking about in this situation. So again, getting back to the challenge of the horse bolting on the lunge, it's what we need to think about doing is getting more control of the horse's hindquarters in that situation to help prevent that. And that's also going to help prevent that challenge of running back to the barn while we're riding, because basically the hind legs, which we know are the drivers, are working against us in that situation rather than us having control of those in that situation. So hopefully, Debbie, this has been helpful to you, and hopefully this has been helpful to anyone else who may be watching. Feel free, if this has been helpful to you, give us a like, give us a share, give us a comment below. Also, if you've got a friend that you feel may benefit from this information, please feel free, tag them in the comment section below or share this video directly with them. So, question of the day. Okay, we've probably all got a bolting story, right? I think my favorite bolting story of my own is I was working with a miniature horse, no less, mini mule, actually, this little thing was, for a rescue a couple years back. He was cute as a button and wicked as a devil. He'd been kind of run through the ringer, so he really learned how to defend himself, right? So when I say wicked as a devil, it was through no fault of his own. He was an ornery little cuss because he'd learned how to defend himself through necessity, through whatever situation he was in. And man, could he kick, and man, could he drag. And I remember working with him one day for several hours, and working on getting him caught, and we worked on getting him to where we could put the halter on, and boy, then he took off and wanted to drag me, and I just went sand skiing through the mud. This little thing barely made it past my knee, really took me for a ride. So do you have a story that hopefully ended well, but kind of brings you a smile and a chuckle when you think back on it? If you do, please feel free, share that with us in the comment section below. I'd like to read those. And again, I'm going to link up for you Warwick's page in the information below also. So don't forget, gang, you guys keep asking questions, and I'll keep talking about horses. Thanks for tuning in.